Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is currently 6:21 p.m. and I actually just woke up not too long ago from a very long mid-afternoon nap. I got up really early this morning and took a shower and got ready for my dental appointment. Last night, what did we watch last night? We watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the second part of the reunion. I actually need to go in and add that to or take that off my TV shows I'm watching. Hold on just a second. TV shows I'm watching. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And then I need to add that to watched TV shows of 2023. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I have now watched 9 complete TV shows. Well, I've finished 9 TV shows so far in 2023. Welcome to Chippendales, The Surreal Life, Traitors, which Andy Cohen is apparently doing the reunion for Traitors on Peacock. 9 Perfect Strangers, Truth Be Told, seasons 1 and 2. The 3rd episode of the 3rd season came out today, and I haven't watched it yet. Well, it came out like at midnight last night. Little Fires Everywhere, Amber, the Girl Behind the Alert, and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So those are the... And then last night, I was going to start... What is this show that I was told to watch? The Manifesto of a Serial Killer, but I didn't start that last night because I was like, okay, it's just better if I go to bed early and get a good night's sleep. So we watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and then we watched 2 episodes of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. And then Alex started watching Vanderpump Rules. I don't know if he finished it or not last night, but I went upstairs and started getting ready for bed and listened to a little bit of my audiobook, and then I went to sleep. So I was in bed by like 12:30 last night, and then got up this morning at like 8 o'clock, and Alex kind of had a change of schedule this morning. So when I got up this morning, he was like, I'll just take you to the dental appointment, and then he was like, and then I'll go to work if you don't mind Ubering home from the dental appointment. I was like, no, that's not a problem at all. So I got to the dental appointment, and apparently they had misunderstood when I had said I didn't want to do the wisdom teeth. So they had taken all of the teeth extraction, like all off of the schedule for today. So they just did the scaling on this side. I had like 6 or 7 shots on this side of my mouth. And so actually the scaling was a little bit worse on this side than it was on that side. It hurt a little bit more, but it was just about an hour she worked on my mouth, into this deep cleaning. Apparently I have to go in and have like a deep cleaning now, like going forward, like every 3 months, not like as intense as the last 2 times. But just to kind of get rid of the buildup and things like that. So, and then the next thing is I'm going in next Wednesday morning, and I'm having the molar removed that's infected. And then after that, I'm going to come back in and have my wisdom teeth taken out. They're like highly recommending that. I just don't really want to get my wisdom teeth taken out. But anyway, although she kind of made a good point today. She said, I know that you're like really nervous about getting your wisdom teeth taken out. She was like, but she said when you hear about it being like really bad for people, it's like usually when they're younger and their wisdom teeth are impacted. She said, that's not the case with your wisdom teeth. She said, your wisdom teeth aren't impacted at all. And she said, so it's really not going to be a whole lot different than the tooth that he's going in and extracting next week. She said, like he's going to try to go in and be careful with it. So something about the teeth around it, leaving like a certain amount of bone and whatever, because they're trying to protect the bone in my teeth because I have like periodontal disease. But I just, if I could give any recommendation to, I mean, you know, it's interesting. People always ask me, they're like, what advice would you give to your younger self? I mean, there's so many pieces of advice that I would give my younger self on, you know, like, follow your dreams and, you know, do the things that you want to do in your life. I mean, I believe all of that, right? And, develop yourself or develop a strong support system around you. And I believe all of those things, but there's a couple other things that I would say, and that would be that develop good eating habits and healthy eating habits and stay active. Develop some kind of like workout regimen, whether that's just 2 to 3 times a week, but you keep it up, you know, or that you're active like 5 times a week, just like walking for a half an hour a day, and you start that in your 20s and you just continue that for the rest of your life. Or if that's running or bike riding or whatever that is, you know, cycling, aerobics, whatever. Tanya and her husband just started doing water aerobics, and Tanya loves it. She's like, yeah, she's like, I get laughing so hard, and she's like, the people take it really, really seriously. She's like, but I love the music. And she was like, Eric was laughing so hard because I was like in the pool, and she was like, I just love it. And she was like, and I'm like singing at the top of my lungs to like the songs and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, but I wish that was something that I had never like taken breaks from, that through the years I had just continued to do and eat healthy, and then allowed myself to have, you know, cheat days and allowed myself to eat when I'm on vacation and whatever, but like had continued to eat healthy through the years. The other thing is, I when it comes to like medical issues and dental issues, to definitely keep those up. You know, I would highly recommend having a physical like every 6 months to a year. Well, I think it's every 6 months, you know, going in and having a physical and having, you know, blood work ran and all of that kind of stuff. I would, because I think it's preventative medicine, and I would definitely recommend all of that. That's something that like Alex is really good at, and like he goes and has, you know, his physical every 6 months and has blood work ran and everything like that. And I wish I had, that's something that I wish that I had kept up on, and then definitely the dental stuff. And, you know, I can remember when I was in my late 20s going to this dentist. Caroline and I both went to her because her parents were family friends of like my aunt and uncle, really my aunt and uncle, but my mom as well. And Caroline still sees them and talks to them. They were like some of my aunt and uncle's like very, very best friends. And so it was their daughter, who is like my age. And she had a dental practice, which she doesn't have this dental practice anymore because she stopped it to like raise her kids and stuff like that. But I can remember seeing her, and there was like this piece of paper that I had to sign. And it's like the very first time, I mean, I saw her over the course of like probably 2 or 3 years, but I can remember, you know, at that time there was really nothing wrong with my teeth. I did have, at one point I had a root canal, and because she recommended a root canal, and so I went and had it by somebody else. And I remember all these people were like, oh, root canal is so horrible. And I said, the worst part of a root canal was writing the check, because it was like $800 or $900 to get a root canal. It really wasn't that painful at all, and I just had shots to, you know, numb that area, and then they went in and whatever, took out the nerve or whatever they do. But I can remember on this form that I filled out, like one of the questions was like, is it important for you to keep all of your teeth? And I just thought it was like such a silly question, because I was like, obviously I would want to keep all of my teeth, like, you know, and then here it is, flash forward 25 years, you know, and I'm 50. And I'm like having an infected tooth removed and having to talk about, you know, a bridge versus an implant and all of this kind of stuff. And which one's better, which one's gonna, like, what's the longevity of all of these. And having to have my wisdom teeth taken out at 50 and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, this is not what I thought, you know, dental work would look like for me at 50. So I really wish I had kept up on that stuff when I was younger. And those are some things that I I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you're like in your late 20s, mid 20s, and you're watching this, or even in your 30s, and that's something that you haven't done, I would, if you have the ability and you have insurance to do it, I would immediately, if you're watching this tomorrow, I would write down, schedule a primary care physician appointment. And I also think it's important to, try to see if you can get health insurance. And if you don't have it, go through the marketplace. I mean, there is some affordable, it's not great, but there is affordable insurance through the marketplace. That you at least have some options so that if you're ever hospitalized and things like that, I don't know. I wish I had kept up on more of that stuff than I did in the past, and so, I mean, health insurance is something that, having had a dad as a doctor, he's just I don't care how much you have to pay for it. You need to always have health insurance. And so I always have, but, and our health insurance is expensive, but, with the doctor and the dentist and things like that, I wish I would have kept up on it, and there's also you can find sliding fee scale primary care physicians that work at community health centers. And, I think that there's in every town, there's depending on, there's sliding fee scale dentists and things like that depending on your income or lack thereof. So, calling and kind of checking in. You could probably call any dentist and just say, do you know anybody that I could call, or do you have a sliding fee scale, or who could I call to have, whatever, to have affordable dentistry and things like that. I just really wish I had kept up on it through the years, because it's not to say that I wouldn't still be having some of these issues, but I think that I wouldn't be having to do all of it all at the same time, and Monday go to the dentist, and Friday or Thursday go to the primary care physician, and it's a lot. So yeah, so I wish I had, and I think some of them are overlapping issues, especially when not going to the primary care physician, and then the eating habits and the not being active, and talking about high blood pressure and things like that. I think and the thyroid issue and all of that, I think a lot of that would have kind of taken care of itself. When I was talking to my primary care physician, he was well, if you focus on the weight loss and you focus on getting active, the blood pressure might take care of itself, and then we might not even have a thyroid issue, and he was well, if we keep on checking on that, and depending on the weight loss and all this kind of stuff, he said, then we'll be able to see how you do over time. He's but if you could lose 20 to 30 more pounds, he was I think that the blood pressure would kind of take care of itself. So my blood pressure was good today when I went into the dentist office, but of course, I'm on blood pressure medication. So, yeah, so that's some advice that I would have given my younger self to, I don't know, to keep up with that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things that I would have given my advice to myself. I think I'm big on saving money and things like that, no matter if it's just you're saving $5 a week or whatever, and cutting costs so that you can do that. But I wish I started doing it. I started actually doing it at kind of a young age compared to some people. I mean, I didn't start doing it at 25, but I would say around 30, 31, I started doing it. But I wish that I had started it I mean, I was using it at 21, but I wish I had started it when I started working at almost 23 years old. And, they say to put I don't know, what is it, 20% of your paycheck, save it first. I wish I had done that and never touched it. And just been financially smart and things like that. And, that Total Money Makeover book that I read by Dave Ramsey, I mean, that book really changed my perspective about how to just like look at money over the long haul of your life and things like that. So yeah, I think about like, and I know like it's, you know, often it's like really people's financial issues, it's difficult and stuff, but like I look back at that and I kind of wish that maybe I had like from an early age on, like started a savings account where I was putting in like, I don't know, like maybe every paycheck like $50 or something, and then when I got like $10,000 or whatever, I had put it down on a down payment for my first house, which I think that I would have been able to afford by the time that I was like late 20s, to be able, you know, would it be the greatest house in the entire world? No. But would it be something that I would own? Yes. And the thing is that I would have had equity in that home instead of paying towards renting an apartment, which I loved renting an apartment. I really did. The thing is about renting an apartment, I tell people this all the time. It's like, you know, if something breaks, you just, you know, call up the maintenance and you just say, okay, this is broken. Can you come and fix it? But I think about like how many years, you know, I rented an apartment for, and, you know, I was talking to somebody about this the other day because a friend of mine rents an apartment, rents a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, and they pay like in Indianapolis, like over $2,000 for the apartment. It was like $2,500 or something like that. I was like, are you kidding me? And the last apartment that I was renting and it was a nice apartment and a nice apartment complex, was 14 years ago, before I moved in here. So that would have been in the end of 2008. And I was paying $915 a month, and it was for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And before that, my apartment was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and it was like 7 something. I want to say like 760, 780. And my apartment before that, which was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, that my ex and I shared with my friend, that was like a little bit more than the other one. It was like 8 something. So, you know, and then my first apartment that I had, you know, in 1994, which was it was a 1-bedroom loft. It was like I remember it being like $515 or something like that, and then it like got up to like $600. So, you know, like if you look at that, let's just average that out. So let's average that out to like 750. I feel like it would have been more than that though if you average it out. Let's just average that out to 750. So, you know, I moved into my first apartment when I was 18. So yeah, I could have just done the math. So that was 1990. And then I moved out of my last one when I was in 2008. I'm not going to do it by the month. So that's 18 years that I rented. And okay, so let's see, 750 times 12 is 9,000 times 18. I mean, that's $162,000 that I put into rental properties. And yeah, like, I mean, obviously some of that, I wasn't in a position to afford a house, but I think at like, cause my Aunt Kathy, who is a realtor, you know, she would say, let's look at something small. Let's look at a condo. You know, there were a lot of condos at that time that were somewhat affordable that I could have gotten a condo, and at least I would have had some equity in that. When I was paying my mortgage or rent every month, it was going towards something. It was going towards a mortgage, you know? So I don't know. That was another thing that I wish I would have done early on, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. So there's always these things that you wish that you had done, and then you look back and you didn't do them. You know what I mean? But that's just some advice to my younger self, that those are the advice pieces that you don't really think of, you know? And like when you think about, I don't know, like, I get asked that question a lot. Like, well, what would you tell your younger self that you know now that you didn't know then? It's like, I don't know. Not getting consumed with fighting fights that just don't matter. Like, I think I spent a lot of time in my life being angry about things that a year down the road I didn't even remember what I had been angry about. Sometimes today, like, I find myself getting angry about things that like a week or down the road I don't even remember. I'm like, no, what was I angry about? And then I think like it wasn't even worth it. So all the time that I spent like being angry and spinning and spiraling and all of that kind of stuff, when that time actually could have been working on, looking at me being reactionary and responding to anger in a way that wasn't healthy for me, I think that's the other thing. I wish I would have spent more time looking at the lesson instead of staying in the lesson, if that makes sense. I don't know. So, and also I think like not pushing myself too hard. Like I came home today. So after the dental appointment today, I was hungry and I was like, I had stuff to eat at the house, but I was like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. So I think I'm going to, take an Uber to this Big Bear's Biscuits that I really like. The only person that I can get together with me is Tanya, because she's the only person, which is so funny because I talked to her like when I got home. I knew that she had a bunch of stuff to do this morning, so I thought she'll never want to go there. And so when I talked to her, she goes, oh, I was just going to ask if you wanted to meet me there. So anyway, so I went to Big Bear's Biscuits and I had biscuits and gravy, and I usually get this, what do you call it? I usually get this mushroom vegetarian gravy that they have, but they have this one called Sawmill, and it's kind of smoky like sausage, but it's not sausage, it's vegetarian gravy. So I got that on top, and then I got a side of mac and cheese. I ate it all. I was so hungry. My mouth was like so numb after I was like, I sent a picture to Alex and he's like, you're making that face. He's like, I was like, no, my mouth is really that numb. But anyway, so I sat there and then I had a Dr. Pepper, no, Mr. Pibb and water. And I had my AirPods because I had listened to music when I was at the dental appointment. So I just sat there and like watched like YouTube videos, and I watched a bunch of different videos. Well, first of all, I was watching this guy that I used to, like way back in the day, like he used to make YouTube videos, and then like he's come back and he started making YouTube videos. So I was watching a couple of his videos, but I was kind of bored of that. And did you ever like watch somebody, yeah, you're like, yeah, you, Peter, and you're like, oh God, I used to love this guy, and now like he's just so boring. Don't say that about me. Please don't say that about me. So, and then I ended up watching, I probably have it pulled up right now. It was the question and answer of the top 5 from National. Oh, no, I don't have it, but I could look in my library and see. Here it is. Miss Continental 1995 and 1996 top 5 Q&A. That's what I was watching. And then I was done, and then I ordered my Uber, and it was this really, really nice guy, and he was quite a bit older. And it was so cold in Indianapolis, you guys, today. It was like 20 degrees outside. And so, but he was super nice. And we got talking, and he was telling me like where he was from and things like that, which was like, and I was, because my old sponsor used to, he went to high school. And I said, did you go to high school there? And he goes, yeah. And it's weird because this area of town is not like today, it's pretty big, but back in the day, it wasn't big at all. Like, I think like 20 people graduated from their high school or something like that. And I said, do you mind me asking how old you are? And he was real close to my sponsor's age, which was like in his 70s. And I said, can I ask you if you know somebody? And he's like, yeah, sure. And my sponsor had like a really kind of bizarre name. Like, it's not just like Steve Jones. Like, it was like if you heard it, it was like a bizarre name, right? Like, you would know it. And so I said, did you know, by any chance, did you know? And he was like, oh my God, yeah. And his dad owned this business, and he was such a great guy. And I said, well, he passed away last year. And he said, oh, that's so sad to hear. And so we were talking about him, and I said, yeah, he was a really good friend of mine for a really long time. And we were just talking about like Indianapolis and how it had grown and whatever. And so, yeah, that was that. And he was telling me that his wife is younger than him, so he drives because he gets bored just sitting at home all day long because she still works. But anyway, then I came home, and that's when I called Tiny Jean, and I was getting ready to lay down because I was like, I'm going to take a little bit of a nap. Well, I wanted to film videos this afternoon, but my mouth was still kind of like numb. And I didn't want to get in a video and be like, hi, you guys, you know what I mean? Because like my mouth was numb. So I was going to take a nap for like an hour and a half, and I ended up sleeping like all afternoon. I don't know if maybe I was super tired or I needed it, but yeah, I slept all afternoon. So, but it was nice. Little Boo Radley and I had a nap until Alex came home. And then Alex, he was down here watching Gossip Girl. And he just went upstairs to watch Gossip Girl. And then he had texted me earlier in the day, and he had said, do you want to go see a movie tonight? Because he wants to see Avatar, and I really want to see Avatar. So we're going to go see Avatar tonight. We're going to go to the 8:30 show, 8:35. We're going to go see Avatar. And then, yeah, so that's that. And I didn't make any other videos today. So tomorrow I'm going to have to hop to it, making videos, and make videos on tomorrow and Sunday. I'm gonna have to keep up making videos because on Wednesday, if I get this tooth taken out, I don't know how I'm gonna feel after that. Although I'm getting it taken out really, really early. I'm getting it taken out at like 8. My appointment's at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So, I mean, I would think by like noon I would be okay, because she said it's an hour appointment. She said you'll be in and out in an hour, and I was like, okay. So I would think by like noon I would be okay, but I have no idea how I'm gonna feel after having that taken out. So I can feel a tooth. Freaks me out, kind of. But anyway, so yeah, so we'll see how I feel. I have a therapy appointment on Wednesday too, so I'm going to need to cancel that and change it with him, so that I can, want to give him enough notice, and I also want to reschedule that, because I don't think that I'm going to be in the mood to do a therapy appointment. But so yeah, so that was my day today and last night. Then we're going to go to Avatar. And I'm really excited. I've been wanting to see Avatar for a while. And then Alex is doing one of those IV things tomorrow morning with his 2 girlfriends. I think it's like, I don't know what time he's doing it, but he's doing it in the morning sometime. And then he said he's either going to hang out with somebody, I don't remember who, or he's going to go to his mom's house and they're going to talk about like what they're going to do on this trip. So I don't know if you guys haven't heard this or not, but Alex's mom, she's moving to Spain for a couple years, 2 years, I think. And so she's gonna come back next fall, because Fufu and his fiance Jesse are getting married. So she's gonna come back like a month and a half before that, and then she's gonna stay through Christmas, and then she's gonna, this is her plan at least right now, and then she's gonna go back after that and stay, I believe, for like another year and a half. But Alex is like helping her move over there into her apartment. She's got like an apartment and everything over there, and so he's helping her move over there like she's moving into a college dorm, because she helped him move into his college dorm. So anyway, so they're going over there, mom and son, and I can't remember the city that she's moving to. But then they're also going to Barcelona and Madrid. I think he flies out of Barcelona. I'm not sure. but he's going to be over there for like 9 or 10 days. So, yeah, and that is towards the middle to the end of this month. I can't remember the date. Anyway, he's real excited about that. And it's going to be so weird that my mother-in-law isn't here for that long. It's going to be strange to not see her, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, really, okay, it stopped. And then my camera is like, this tripod has been so weird lately. It's like so hard for me to get it to just like stay straight. But anyway, yeah, so my mother-in-law is going to be gone, and it's weird, and it's going to be weird not having her here. And she has been wanting to do this for quite some time. She initially was like looking at these different programs where you could like move internationally. I don't know who they were through, but where she would either go there if they were predominantly Spanish-speaking, you know, countries, and she would teach English, or go somewhere and teach English and Spanish and things like that. So, but I don't think that that's really what she's doing. I think she's going to be teaching like English when she's there, because it's part of what she's doing, but that's not exclusively what she's doing. And so yeah, so she's really excited about that. And she is like got everything in control, like controlled, and everything's ready to go, and she's like, she is ready to go. She's, you know, and so I don't know, she's a little fearless. It's interesting, there's a lot of things that remind me, like that there's a lot of similarities between she and my mom, but that's definitely not one of them. My mom wouldn't probably go to the next town over, let alone Spain, you know what I mean? And Alex's mom is just very, very fearless when it comes to, you know, moving across the world. And people ask me, like my friends will say, like, you know, she's like moving to Spain like by herself, and she knows some people there in this town. There's a couple people. She went there and she spent some time a couple years ago, and there was she met some people, and so she's got some friends that are over there that live in this town that she's moving to. It's like a small town, I think, that she's moving to, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, she's rather fearless. Oh, my friends, well, they'll say, so she's moving there and like she doesn't know like anybody, and I'm like, no, she knows a couple people, but like other than that, and they're like, oh wow, like, and you know, at this age of her life and things like that, and I'm like, well, her attitude is kind of like, I raised my kids are raised, you know, my grandkids are getting older, and this is my time to enjoy my life and do what makes me happy and have some experiences in my life and things like that. So, I mean, I don't think that she's going to move permanently. I think she'll come back, and I do think that she wants to come back before like Carlos and Sebastian are like super old, or before, you know, like in high school. And I think she also wants to come back before, like Fufu and Jesse start having kids and things like that. I think that that's really important to her as well. So, yeah, but it's exciting. I told her, I said, I'm going to come over and visit just by myself. And I said, and then you can take me all over. She was so excited when I said that to her. And she's like, oh, okay, where are we going to go? And I said, wherever you want to go, you can take me, and you can show me all over and whatever. So I told her that we were going to do that. And so, yeah. She's like organized these immersion trips for people before, where she'll do like, I think it's like 2 months or 3 months of like Spanish classes here before, and then she'll go places, and then she organizes these trips for like 10 or 12 people. A lot of them are couples. Most of them are people like my age, and it's these like intensive like 10 day to 2 week trips that she does. She did Argentina, she did Chile, and so like that was originally why she went to Spain several years ago, as she was putting this trip together. And then she just was like, I think I want to move to Spain. And so every day they like get up and they have like a study that they do, and then she like takes them to different like places around like the major cities, and she arranges all of it. I'm like, I didn't really realize that, like, I mean, she arranged like the whole trip and like the whole immersion thing and everything. It was very cool to see like what she did. And these people are so into it, and they're not allowed to speak English. They're only allowed to speak Spanish. And so, and like the last one, when she went to Chile, they went to like a theater, like a play, and they were really excited about that. And she takes them to all these different restaurants. She like researches all the restaurants and all the stuff, and like looks into all of it. And then I mean, she has like workbooks put together that she puts all this stuff together, and she always has like a cartoon character. We were talking to her about this. She always has like a cartoon character that is kind of like the what do you call it, like the mascot of the program. And it's like, so it would be like a cartoon character mascot that would be somebody that like would be famous for that country, if that makes sense. And I didn't really understand it at first, because for the first one, for Argentina that she went to, she, like, they were all standing in front of this picture of this little girl that's like in this hat and stuff, and she's like this cartoon character, right? And apparently you see her all over Argentina. And so I was like, I didn't get it, right? So then when she came back from Chile, it was like a different one, but it looked similar but different because it was cartoon, and I didn't get it, right? And she's like, well, it's just like the mascot of the program. And I was like, I don't get it. And she's like, okay, so if it was like the United States, it would be like, and we were trying to figure out something, and Alex was like Marge Simpson, and she was like, yes, like Marge Simpson. Like, I would use Marge Simpson as like the mascot for, just as a way to be funny, and, you know, and like, then they can associate, you know, with that. But anyway, she loves doing it, and I think it's cool. And she's kind of, you know, she wrote a book not too long ago, and she's got like 3 more. She's like, I've got 3 more books that I want to come out the next year. And I mean, she just is a cool lady. She really is, you know, and she inspires and motivates me to follow my dreams and do stuff that I want to do as well. So I'm excited for them. They're gonna have a good time on this trip. And Boo Radley and I will be here alone, and we're gonna have Boo Radley and Peter's Bachelor Weekend. Well, Boo Radley and Peter's Bachelor Week. Boo Radley and Peter's Bachelor Week. Don't worry about us, 'cause we'll be just fine. Anyway, I had a dream last night, and in my dream, I'm looking up the little picture of Tucker. Little Tucker came to me in my dream, and he was like rolling around in the bed and stuff like that, and I was like rubbing his tummy. And you know, they say that people and animals come to you in dreams as like spirit form, because then they can let you know that they're okay. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. It was kind of eerie out today because, well, first of all, it was so cold in Indianapolis. And why is my phone like, it is buffering, but it won't like go up. It was so cold in Indianapolis today. And then like when I would take Boo Radley outside, I would like look up at the sky, and there'd be like all the birds flying like in formation, like they're flying south for the winter, you know, which we're already like halfway through winter. But then you'd hear these like, this is going to make people think of Schitt's Creek, but you would hear like these birds that are like hawks, I guess, that are like, and they would just be like making these, I mean, it was like, and you'd see them like fly, and these huge black birds, right? Which is weird because, so back in the day, I knew somebody who like their son died, and they like, anyway, it's a long story, but they started doing all this kind of stuff, and they always assigned a hawk to everything that they did. And the reason why was because when he died, the dad, who was not in town at the time, looked up and saw a hawk at the exact moment that he passed away. And supposedly there is like legend that hawks are between the veil between the living and the dead. And so they did all this stuff around hawks and all this kind of stuff, which was always very cool to me. But when I see hawks, I always think of that. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's like Native American wisdom. I don't know what that is, but I've heard that from several different people. It hasn't just been them that I've heard that from. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over and look. The vlog of love. The vlog of, well, I don't have my reading glasses on, so I'm not gonna be able to read any comments that anybody says on here. But Amy said, oh, Amy, she's commented on my vlogs for a long time. She said, your vlogs are so cathartic for me to listen to. God can definitely handle our questions. Aw. I think that's... Linda said, Peter, I love cheese boards. Do one for us. I should so do a cheese board for my Peter Does Stuff channel. I should. I'm not any good at them. But that would be really a fun video, wouldn't it? Okay, so anyway, all right, you guys, I'm going to get off here, start getting ready for the movie and stuff. And yeah, so anyway, I hope that you guys have I hope you're having a magically amazing Friday and a fantastic beginning to your weekend. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. You'll be putting a smile on their face, changing their day, making them happier, and really just cheering them up. So make sure that you do that. And also, be kinder to one another, love one another a little bit more, and be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.